Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new video on twin flames. Today on a very interesting topic that I get asked a lot and I see in comments a lot, which is, should I tell him or her that we are twin flames, right? Should I bring up the name? Should I address it? Should I just let it go? What should I do, right? So you ask me, Yvonne, please tell me, as always, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give my best, I'm gonna tell you what I think and feel about it. So let's first, as always, let's look at where you're at when you're asking that question. Like where do you come from by asking that question, right? So ask yourself, why do you even wonder if you should tell him? Like, where are you? Are you living with him in harmony and peace? And I'm gonna say him when we talk about the person that is not watching this video, but it doesn't mean that it's always a him. It's a lot of times it's also a her, right? Just to set that clear. So are you living together? Are you in a relationship together? Is everything going super well? Are you happy? Maybe you have a family, maybe you have a shared life purpose, maybe things are going really well. So now you're like, should I tell him, right? Does it help if he knows that I think we're twin flames? And the situation I just described, chances are that's not where you're at. You're not in the situation where you're actually happily in a relationship with him or her, and where you ask that question for a certain reason. That's really important. That's why I pointed out, right? You ask it not so much to wonder, like not because you're wondering if you should give him that piece of information or not. You're more wondering, should I give him that piece of information so that things change for us? Right? Isn't that the right mindset you're in? Like, is it not what I just described that is going through your mind when you ask that? It's like, should I tell him so he will agree and he will understand and he will then agree to be with me? Right? Which is highly manipulative, which is not what we do, right? And I'm not saying you're coming from a bad place or you have mean intentions, right? That you go, oh, I want to manipulate him, right? But you do wonder if it helps your case, if you're honest with yourself, right? You're not just, oh, let him, I want him to know so he can explore this and come to his own understanding. You probably do think it will, make things so much easier if both of you knew and if both of you were agreeing that you actually are twin flames. And if we say twin flames, we mean you're one true love, that you're meant for each other, that you're one being at the core, that you are created as one, and that you are supposed to be and live together. Because that is the divine truth. That is how you were created. So why should anything else, like in reality, take place other than you being with him or her for good, right? 24/7, let's say, right? So now that we looked at why, right? You got clear on, or you're asking yourself, like, why do I even want to address this? If you like catch yourself, or you got caught by what, like, basically I called you out on it, right? That you're actually hoping something would change from that, then I would say, no, I'm only going to tell you that after. So I'm addressing why, when, and how to tell him, right? So let's stick with the why for right now. So if that is the reason, I would say don't do it. But I'm going to go into it later on. If it's not to like help your case, let's say, right? And to have him run to you and be, okay, thank you so much, Jasmine. Now that you told me that we're twin flames, now I actually really want to be with you. I'm so glad you told me, because now everything makes sense. Now all of a sudden I feel that deep love for you. Now all of a sudden I can stop being in my head, wink wink, right? Like men always do. It's a joke, by the way, whenever I say something like that. So don't put nasty comments in my comment section. So it's a joke, right? That the other person is in their head, because actually you making these little games of how can I make him realize, basically, you're just as much in your head, right? You're just as much having a really rational approach to this and not a very feeling place approach, right? So that being said, if it's to make him like come to you, don't do it. If it's to give something, whenever you want to give love to your twin in whatever shape or form it is, like that is never wrong, right? So that, let's come to the second point of when do you actually tell him? Like not when, like on a Tuesday or on a Wednesday, but when is it the right motivation and the right situation to actually tell him? When is it the most compassionate thing to let him or her know that you strongly believe, right? That person still has a right to their own opinion, because if they're not your twin flame, you don't share one choice with them, and you're not one being. So that person might strongly disagree about what you're saying, right? So don't come at them with like, I hold the truth and no one but me, right? So this, I'm already talking about the how, but so the when should you tell him is when you actually feel that it would give him or her something essential, where you feel that he might be struggling with the situation of knowing how strongly he feels for you, but that he's judging himself or giving himself a hard time for even feeling all these strong feelings for you, then it might be a possible help, right, to tell him about twin flames in general. Not even, hey, we are certainly twin flames. I mean, that can happen, but more like, hey, this exists. Like these strong feelings actually do exist, and it is like linked to twin flames a lot of times. Like you're not a bad person for wanting to leave your wife, or for having divorced, or for whatever it is, right? In some cases, even for having cheated. Like, I know you're an honest person, you would never cheat, but like with us two, like that's you and your twin, right? It was like just so intense, we just couldn't help ourselves. And actually, that's what twin flames, like, since twin flames are meant to be together, they, in a lot of cases, they don't have a sense of guilt. Well, it is guilt, but not like normal. It just doesn't feel wrong to be with the twin flame, even though they're married, right? So in that sense, in that case, it would actually be very compassionate to give him that piece of information. Can you see what I'm like, how I'm differentiating the two scenarios? If it's all about, like, if you want to use it, like the twin flame, like we're twin flames information, to use it to your own benefit and to have reality shift in your benefit, and that you use it almost as an instrument, like, as I said, manipulation. And the other case where you compassionately extend knowledge, and you compassionately extend awareness and a piece of information, right, that you can tell would really, really help the other party. And let's assume your twin flame, right? It would really help him to not feel, or to get rid of that guilt and just let it go. Also, if he's really your twin, all that is also in you. So of course, you know, through the mirror exercise that we teach and all that, but I'm not going to go into these details for now. So just check in with yourself what your true motivation is. So in order to help another person along, yes, do it. So then we go on to asking how do you do it? Well, I would say don't just drop like some spiritual lingo bomb on the poor thing, because even though you're one, and even though you are one being, and you are always like one is as spiritual as the other one could have, like, let's assume the man could have a really grounded spiritual approach, right? A really grounded being. Like, he could be a really grounded spiritual being that doesn't talk about, ascension and oneness and oh my god, right, 5D whatever, like it can be, right? And oh, I'm not gonna use that word, you probably know which one. Not gonna, you know, compartmentalize, oh my gosh, getting myself in trouble here. But just like I am always a little bit generalizing just to be even able to talk about certain things, right? But so it could be that he's really into soccer and he's really into basketball and he loves tennis and he's really has a really good career going and he loves his children and whatever it is, but he doesn't have all that lingo going on that you might have like in store because you've watched all my videos and I don't even use that language, but some people use that language, right? So you might have picked it up. So don't drop that on him. Just like go at him or her where they're at, right? So even if he's never going to agree that you're twin flames, maybe he just calls you my person, you know, you're just the woman of my life, you're my person. I know we're meant to be. I know we're like, we're obviously like very similar in so and so many things. Like that is all the same thing, right? That is all basically saying what you're saying by saying we're twin flames. So go about it in a compassionate, grounded, normal way, and don't be expecting things of people that they're just not into, but it doesn't mean they're less spiritual at all. And I think that's all the advice I want to give you, honestly. So I hope I gave you the answer to this. Should I tell my twin flame we're twin flames or not? And also, of course, always drop all expectations, how it will go, what will happen once you told him. Even if he doesn't want to hear it at first, maybe he does. Like whatever it is, just know that he or she is never going to be your source. They're never going to be responsible for how you feel, how happy you are, how at peace you are, if you love your job, if you get along with your parents, if you like how you're spending your time, if you're happy with the weight you have, whatever it is, it's never going to be them that make you feel good about it. That's all on you. Like even if he's 25 times your twin flame, but no, you're still responsible for your own peace inside that is getting bigger and bigger as you do the work I teach. So I hope this helped. Reach out if you want to work with me. Subscribe below, not subscribe, but yes, subscribe also. Share with other people that you might know that are on the journey. And otherwise, I'll see you next week, I guess, with a new video. Okay, guys, love you. Bye.